Thumbs up, girl. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. It's a lot going on. What's going on, Consciouztv, your favorite breakdown commentator? I need all of you guys to thumbs up the video on this beautiful hump day. Well, on this very rainy hump day. I love rain. I love cold. I love snow. I love all of the things that are Plutonian. You know, I'm a Scorpio. So we're ruled by Pluto, a very cold, destitute, this icy, cold, ruthless ass planet. So I love this type of weather, child. So this is a beautiful hump day for me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbing up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary, because the Kang is in fact Kangin. So whether you are a Bush baby, part of the Replay gang, or you actively in these streets with me in real time, hit those thumbs up. I need all of that on deck. All right. Also, shout out to all the new subbies. Welcome to the kingdom. Make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your Facebook, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in flat. Lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. And all donation information is in the description box below. $ Consciouztv on Cash App, spelled just how it is here on the platform, or paypal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform. Conscious with the Z on the end instead of a S. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through Okra.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me speak to the beautiful crew before we get started. What's going on, Shauna? Hey, shitty chitlin. So what's going on, T Brown? What's going on, Razaman, I think. Razaman 3. What's going on, Ann? What's going on, Sandy? Hey, Corey. What's going on, LaCondra? What's going on, Shelia? What's going on, Time Slap? Hey, what's going on, you guys? So let's go ahead and get straight into it, girl. There's a lot going on. Hey, Kim, what's going on, boo? Happy hump day, you all. Hope you guys are having a blessed, wonderful Wednesday, girl. It's a lot going on in the news, girl. There's a lot going on. We got to get into some Trump stuff later. We got to get into, we just got to create a safe space to hoot and holler in, girl. There's a lot going on. But we got to get into this Wendy Williams bombshell, along with Stephen Twitch ball situation, girl. It's like, is there a principality ruling over families right now, girl? Families are just upside down. Families are the new downfall. Families and friends are the new enemies, girl. They're the new ops, girl. It's given, girl, that shit. At this point, I would prefer enemies over friends. At this point, girl, it's like something real dirty and real doo-doo brown is in the water, because it is just too much going on, girl. So let's get into Wendy at the end. Let's get into Stephen Twitch. You guys know we were covering the story heavily. You guys know Stephen Twitch, who is he was the executive producer and dancer and DJ for the infamous Ellen DeGeneres show. He married a Karen girl named Allison Holker. She also is a dancer. You know, they had this, this Cleaver the Beaver ass image. You know, they did TikTok dance videos together. Everything looked so nice and interracial at first glance. And then Stephen Twitch did the unthinkable and shocked the entire world, including his children, his wife, his friends, his family, which is he allegedly took his own life. All right. We have learned over the past few months that there has been a lot of contention in his family since his passing, girl. We learned that Allison Holker, okay, Miss Karen herself, made the family sign NDAs when it came to his funeral, even though she said she made both sides of the family sign NDAs because she was trying to protect her children and her own mental health, since his family wanted people at the funeral and at the wake that she did not know. So she did not want to risk people from the media, maybe friends that were connected to the media, coming to the wake and funeral and taking a picture of his body, since he had a massive head injury due to the self-inflicted GUN shot wound to his head. And she just didn't want her children having to see those images on Reddit or on TMZ or, in their algorithm, etc., girl. Apparently within that NDA was also some type of clause that would prevent the family and friends from speaking about, not speaking about Twitch, but producing speaking about Twitch in interviews, producing any literary work or doing any type of a documentary or doing anything around Twitch that produces money. She wanted all the proceeds to go to her, okay? She wanted all the proceeds, girl, to go to her if they had any plans on making money off of his name, child. Then we learned through leaked text messages that there has been custody issues between Allison and her children and the family, who apparently have been striving to be involved with Twitch's children. He had a stepdaughter who also spoke out. We covered that. He also has his own kids with Allison as well. The grandmother has wanted to see the kids, which is Twitch's mom. Apparently there's been scheduling issues. There were times in which Allison just did not seemingly respond to requests to meet up with the family or to arrange time. We also kind of got Allison's side of the story from her book. She also let us know that Twitch left her in $1 million worth of debt. There were all type of liens and things that he left in her lap. And I'm going to assume she wanted all the moolah, girl. She wanted all of the residuals from any of the family who planned on making money off his name to go to her, because she needed to pay down his debt to ensure that the kids that he left her to raise could be taken, care of respectfully. Also, the daughter spoke out and said that it's not entirely true that her mother has been withholding the grandbabies, because there have been plenty of times that Allison has reached out to the family to arrange time with them, and they have pussyfooted, dragged their feet. The daughter also told us that they actually saw Twitch's side of the family more after he died than they did prior to his damn death. So that's also interesting as well. She also exposed some other people who've been involved in a yabba dabba doo, the peanut gallery situation, saying that it's people who speaking out against her mom who actually stole from Twitch, stole from Allison, and they're only jumping on the bandwagon to talk shit about her mom because they want to deflect from their own crimes against Twitch and Allison's humanity, girl. It's been a whole hot diggity mess. And there's also been some alluding to the fact that Allison may or may not have something to do with Twitch's death. You guys know, in very short, Twitch apparently got up in the middle of the night, left his home, took a GUN that either belonged to him or belonged to Allison, walked a few blocks away, got to a hotel. Apparently, according to the hotel clerk and manager, he actually called ahead of time, asked if they had any rooms available. According to the clerk, he came alone. He seemed like he was himself at the front desk. And by that afternoon, he had apparently unalived himself because the maid found him the next morning when she came to do room service in the bathroom, already deceased and, you know, already had transitioned with the Lord girl. And some people, including his best friend who's paraded himself around as his brother Manny, alluded to the fact that the GUN was Allison's, which is not really like a surprising thing. I mean, she probably had her own personal weapon. I mean, women do carry. Women are allowed to carry, and as a woman, she should be carrying. In a patriarchy, baby, all women should be licensed to carry, honey. Don't trust these niggas. Don't trust these Christians, okay? So, you know, that wasn't like a big, oh my God, the gun was Allison's. I mean, so what? It was going to be somebody's gun. It was either his or it was hers. But they are alluding to the fact that she may know more than what she is leading on. Yeah, more than what she's leading on to, girl. So it's just a lot of that. Now, the book that she came out with, girl, she came out with a memoir. There is a part of the memoir that's been dedicated to Stephen Twitch, girl, and it is what got the conversation started all over again. It is what reopened all of the family wounds, girl, which was allegations that Twitch was or had done drugs at some point in time in his life, because she found a Nike box with drug paraphernalia in it in the days following his funeral. There were pills and potions and all type of things there. She also spoke about some of his journal entrances, being that he was allegedly violated by a close male figure as a little boy. And her whole thing about speaking about these things where she wanted to provide context for why Stephen may have claimed his life, that he was dealing with things and trying to deal with various things in his life, possibly through medicating through drugs. Now, the coroner did rule out that there were no drugs in his system at the time. That does not mean that he was not doing drugs at some point in time. It's just that by the time he had transitioned, there were no drugs in his system, okay? Also, she spoke more about what the daughter spoke about in the daughter's Instagram, which was this ayahuasca retreat that Stephen had went on and participated in that was like really awakening for him. Ayahuasca is a very powerful psychedelic. A lot of indigenous and tribal communities utilize ayahuasca in order to enter into altered states of consciousness, in order to speak to the gods, speak to their ancestors, to tap into their higher consciousness, to tap into the God mind. A lot of people in the US and in the States also will lean toward participating in ayahuasca when it comes to treating and kind of unraveling their trauma. So ayahuasca is looked at as a medicine amongst a lot of indigenous communities. And apparently this was like very eye-opening for Twitch, etc. And you guys know I have a whole theory around ayahuasca and his death and drugs, and I had put it all together, but you can check out previous commentary for all of that, girl. So it's been a lot, girl. The family has been slamming Allison, calling her a hooker, a whore, that she's the drug addict, girl. It's been Allison has been exposed for in the past having drunken bouts of intoxication in public, beating the hell out of police officers. She's a whole hot stinking mess in and of herself. They have slammed her for the claims that Twitch did drugs or was on drugs. They also have dragged her for, you know, putting out his journal entrances and just feeling like that's completely inappropriate. Allison is a whole hot mess in and of herself as well. She's currently dating a billionaire who is a legally married man. Like, the man has kids and has a motherfucking wife. She initially apparently filed divorce papers when pictures came out of her husband and Allison pooching through a golf course together with the kids. She had no idea, apparently. that he was seriously dating or that he had a side hoe or whatever it was. But then she took the divorce decree, or she removed her request for divorce, girl, I think in the following weeks of filing it. So we don't know what's going on, girl. It's just a lot of messy. Yes, I have partaken in ayahuasca years ago. It is amazing. I think I have a video up on my channel about my ayahuasca experience, but I might have to do another ayahuasca video. It's amazing, but not for the faint of heart, and you should not do ayahuasca on your own. I was also a participant in a retreat. I had a Buddhist monk who was my facilitator. Ayahuasca is not like doing weed, baby. This is something that you want to be guided through with a professional, with a metaphysician. It is something that is of seriousness. Like, people have lost their minds after taking ayahuasca. People have died while doing ayahuasca. So this is not something that you should just go try to get a hold of on the back end and call yourself doing on your own. Okay, so do not do ayahuasca without proper guidance and supervision. All right, so it's been a lot. So Allison's family have taken to CBS News to talk to Gayle King, girl. And they're speaking out against Allison's memoir and the things that they have just went through and endured following Twitch's passing. So, of course, we're going to do a fair use. This is a CBS interview. Gayle King is talking to the mother and talking to the blood brother of Stephen Twitch. Child, let me go ahead and pull up my fair use. You guys, please thumbs up the video. We are certainly working today. Oh, yes, we are. All right. This is the interview from CBS Morning.
Now to our exclusive interview with the family of Stephen Twitch Boss. He became a household name as a DJ and co-executive producer of the Ellen DeGeneres Show. But he first rose to fame as a dancer, and boy, could he dance. That is how he met his wife, fellow dancer Allison Holker. She's a great dancer, too. The couple were raising 3 children together when he took his own life back in December of 2022. It's what happened after his death, including Allison's recent release of a memoir that has fueled tensions between his widow and his family. We sat down with Stephen's mother, Connie Boss Alexander, and his brother, Jay Rose, after they reached out to us at Connie's home in Arizona. This interview took place right before Allison's book was released. What do you miss most? What do you want us to know about him as his mom, and what do you miss most?
That face.
That face.
Whenever we were apart and we would get back together, the first thing I would say is, "Oh, there's my face. There's my face." Are you?
Everybody, thumbs up. CBS is paying news, girl. They're paying bills. They probably got 100,000 damn ads throughout this interview. Thumbs up, you guys.
Most people know Stephen Boss as Twitch, a charismatic dancer and daytime personality. But to Connie Boss Alexander, Stephen was her loving son.
He was kind and caring, and I know that sounds cliche, but he truly was kind and caring and always wanting to make sure you were okay and taking care of you. We're a very affectionate family, so very affectionate. He always kissed me on my forehead. Yeah. I miss that.
Yeah. Connie last texted with Stephen on Monday, December 12th, 2022. She says it was an ordinary conversation. They talked about work and his children's Christmas list. The next morning, Connie says she got a phone call from his wife, Allison Holker, asking if she had heard from him. Hours later, he was found dead in a hotel room with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Connie's brother, Alan, told her the terrible news.
And I just remember Alan saying, "Connie, he's gone." Mm-hmm. And I just dropped. You can't imagine those words.
I can. Connie says she is still processing Stephen's death and what she says happened next when she flew to California to be with Allison and the children.
The intent was to grieve together, be a family together, because we were family, we were boss. And we wanted to be there for her. We were, trying to figure out what we were going to do or what she wanted to do in terms of plans. And then I got a phone call saying, we need you guys to sign non-disclosure agreements. And we were like, why? What's going on? What is this for? And she says, well, somebody in the family has sold a story to a magazine. And we were like, what are you talking about? Who did this? And she said, Granddad. And that's Stephen's grandfather. And now, if you know my dad, he is the most respected, the most integrity, would never do that. So a magazine did call him, and in the throes of grief, my father answered the phone, and they asked him
questions.
Right, and he's answering. He's answering the questions, you know, saying we're grieving, we don't know what happened, whatever the answers were. But it was at that point that it became, you guys are doing this. We need you to sign this. And we were like, no, that is not true. And that's kind of where it started.
So that's when the friction started, asking for the NDA.
It went downhill from there.
You were asked to sign an NDA to go to the funeral?
It became, if you don't sign, you will not be able to see him and you will not be able to participate.
Now, you guys already know what I think about this. We already had a 15-11 discussions about all of this. I don't see any issue with the NDA. A lot of celebrity funerals come with NDAs. Michael Jackson's, Prince, Aaliyah's, a lot of high-profile people, when they pass away, there are NDAs that are signed in order to just protect the integrity of the ceremony and to just have a sense of privacy and sacredcy, etc. And yes, to keep to hold people accountable for running to the media, etc. Grief and funerals and death is a horrific thing to experience, but it's not uncommon in the celebrity world. Yes, nobody's going to ask you to sign an NDA to see your non-famous ass grandfather, to see your non-famous ass brother, or to go to Pookie's funeral, but we're talking about celebrities, okay? So that's the mindset that you have to be in. It's an entirely different world. It's an entirely different system. It's an entirely different rules of engagement, etc. And I don't personally just have any issue with the NDA. I mean, had Allison asked me to sign a goddamn NDA to come to Twitch's funeral, considering that he is a public figure, she is a grieving wife, you know, the kids are my nieces and nephews or my grandbabies or whatever, I wouldn't have given a damn. Like, the funeral is hardly something that I even want to talk about anyway. Like, my mom been deceased since 2012. I have yet to talk about her funeral. That's hardly the most significant event, or that's hardly going to be my go-to when speaking about my mother. I'm going to be speaking about, you know, how I was raised, my memories of her, holidays, birthdays, etc. Like, the funeral itself is not something that most people spend their time talking about. So I really don't know what the whole pushback was. It feels like the family just feels like, oh my God, like the audacity to ask us to sign it. Yes, the audacity, because the granddad is already, you know, inadvertently speaking to media, etc. We just want to make sure that these stories don't get crazy. Once again, he did die from self-deletion. It's a lot going on, you know, it's a lot of unanswered questions. Everybody's spooked, everybody nervous, etc. And Allison, who probably has more of a relationship to media, more than anybody else in the family, because her and Twitch are the ones who are famous, she knows how this can go. She knows how this can can get ahead of everybody. She knows how this can spiral. She don't know exactly who the fuck is all calling everybody. She don't know whether it's, you know, the Inquirer. She don't know whether it's one of these troll propaganda satire news. You know, she don't know. So she's just locking everything the fuck up, girl. You know, and once again, I don't blame her. Like, I'm sure Allison was the fuck over it, you know, and just completely outside of herself, and almost probably didn't even want to. I mean, I could just only imagine losing my loved one. I can't imagine it because I've lost loved ones, but having kids, And just being in media, I think it was a smart thing to do. Once again, I don't know what the family is fully huffing and puffing about. I know that there are other parts of the goddamn NDA that kind of made them feel weird. But in terms of just signing it in and of itself, like, I mean, okay.
Connie says she signed a revised version of the non-disclosure agreement so that she could see her son before he was cremated. In her now released memoir, Allison Holker expressed concern about pictures of Stephen leaking to the public.
To make me sign a document to see the child that I brought into the world? I can't even put into words.
And I know a lot of people not going to like what I'm about to say, baby, but you know, I know y'all don't like this type of teaching. The reality is, mama, you gave your son away to his new mama, which is the wife. The wife becomes the new mama, okay? That's why fathers give away their daughters, moms give away their sons, and the wife and or the husband becomes the head of state. And I understand, because the mom is grieving too, that she is internalizing it and personalizing it, and you know, she's making the concept and the existence of the NDA about her per se, but that NDA was probably more in the vein of protecting Allison and protecting her children, which, once again, y'all might not like this kind of teaching, girl, but Allison was continuing to be a parent. I mean, I'm not mad at Allison for wanting all the coin. I'm not mad at Allison for protecting her children, something that Stephen did not. He brought this situation on, unfortunately, due to his mental health decline. And he left everybody to have to survive this very bizarre situation. He left Allison with her fair share of trauma. He left his children with their fair share of trauma. He left his family with their fair share of trauma. It was like when somebody takes their life and nobody knows what's going to happen, like when that's very unexpected, when death is, when self-deletion happens. This is a very violent offense upon everybody else who's living. So I struggle with relating to the family when it comes to the role of the husband and the role of the wife. Allison had every right to, first and foremost, protect her children in any way that she thought was necessary. If she wanted to block up people she didn't know, if she wanted to have people be held accountable, etc., so be it. She didn't want people talking to media. She's protecting herself at this point, protecting her children. They are, I mean, that's what it is. And once again, if the grandfather already taking calls and doing interviews, I mean, what's to keep anybody else from accidentally doing it? But now they have accountability because of this damn NDA. Now they know. Please be mindful of who y'all speaking to. Please ask who the fuck this is when y'all answer y'all cell phones and y'all house phones, baby. I don't know. Like, it's just like, I can't put more blame on Allison than I have to put on Stephen. Stephen did this. Stephen walked away from his entire life. Stephen walked away from all of his responsibilities. Stephen put everybody in this unimaginable emotional anguish because he was in anguish as well. And I think if there's going to be accountability, that accountability, like if people need to find somewhere to place accountability, the accountability should not be on those who survived this. The accountability should have been on Twitch. Twitch was in his right state of mind to either walk to this hotel or to take an Uber to this hotel to intentionally look for a GUN. He called the hotel ahead of time. He could have also used all of that bandwidth and Wi-Fi to walk to a mental health facility, to call 911 so that they can have him evaluated since he was feeling suicidal. He had things to live for. He had people to live for. He had contracts and covens to live for. And he made his choice. And he left everybody who has to live beyond that to have to make theirs. And if people don't have an issue with the way that Twitch voted for himself in this situation, he chose not to think about his children, not to think about his mom, not to think about his friends, his family, nor his wife, then you really can't be a hypocrite and have a lot of say-so and a lot of critique and judgment about the choice that Allison makes. If you have nothing to say about Twitch walking away from everything and vacuuming everybody into this disaster, then you also have to be equally unconditional and non-judgmental about the way Allison chose to navigate the tragedy of her life at this point. If it was okay for Twitch to do what he did, if you can make space for that, if you can understand that, then how much more understanding can you have for the people who did not expect to wake up without a brother, who did not expect to wake up without a husband, children who did not expect to wake up without a father, biracial children who are going to need their dad. If you can find it in your being to stay off of judging Twitch for choosing to check into a hotel and take his life, then you can surely have enough bandwidth and Wi-Fi to stay off of critiquing the way that Allison had to navigate the complexity of this tragedy as now a single mother, as now a widow, as now a woman who has to deal with the debt coming into her life, who has to think about the future of her kids. How is she going to do this? How are they going to do that? Being lonely all over, dating all over. I mean, her whole life began again. Her children's life began again. Everything began again because the contract between her and Twitch was completely now dissolved as a result of the choice that he made. And if you could be compassionate toward Twitch, certainly you could be compassionate toward Allison.
What that feels like. And you know, this was a sensational story, so definitely there are going to be people out there who would take advantage of that. So I truly understand that. I guess my issue with it is that we are family. I'm his mother. What did you honestly think I was going to do?
And it's unfortunate that the mom personalized it, because it could be argued that it wasn't personal. The NDA was for everybody, and even her family signed the NDAs as well. It wasn't to be an insult to anybody.
His brothers, his grandparents, his uncle, his aunts. What did you think we were going to do?
Well, it was being done because you just admitted that family was talking to media. That's what they were doing. You just answered your own question. What were y'all going to do? For one, y'all are talking to media very casually. Very casually. So that's one of the things that were being done. It might not have been done maliciously, but that's a discretion that Allison wanted as it relates to Twitch. And look, Twitch chose to have a wife. This is his queen. And the queen gets the rule, honey, and it's unfortunate that people sometimes don't like the way that the queens rule or the kings rule. But Allison is the queen. That's who he appointed to care for him in his time of need, to care for his kids, to make decisions on behalf of. He chose her. So, I have to assume that Twitch knew exactly who he was marrying, who he was procreating with, who he was doing the bankhead bounce on TikTok with, who he was making love with, what I'm supposed to say? Once again, for me, all roads lead back to all roads lead back to Steven, because Allison is in place because of Steven's choice. Steven chose her. So, you got to be mad at the head. You can't, you got to, you know, direct your attention to Steven. You know, this was not an arranged marriage. he chose her. So, you know, she's doing what she does. And he liked it. He loved it. And in the words of Beyonce, he put a motherfucking ring on it. What? So what I supposed to be pressed about, baby? He wanted her. He chose her. He wanted her as his power of attorney. For, you know, and I have said this in the previous live. What a lot of people are not considering is that, you know, when it comes to so-called like opposites, right? People be like, oh, opposites. The reality is when it comes to coupling, a lot of people don't be opposites. What y'all are really seeing when y'all think y'all looking at two opposites in a relationship is y'all are looking at the covert version and the overt version of the same agenda, right? Meaning that, right? Twitch might have been the people-pleasing, I can't say no, I let everybody use me and disrupt my boundaries because I'm too insecure to stand my ground. And therefore, I have to give people what they want because I'm not enough of a man to deal with people being mad at me or being upset at me because I said no or because I didn't do something. And Allison could have been the bitch on the back end who's like, fuck them hoes. You know, like you need to ... And what a lot of times that happen is who a partner will represent themselves outwardly one way, which will appear very opposite of the person they chose. But in secret, they are the partner they chose. In secret, they're the partner that they chose. Because if secretly he really wanted to say no, he wanted boundaries, he wanted to be able to stand up to the people that he loved, etc., then he married a woman who could say what he was too afraid to, who could push for boundaries in places that he did not personally have the strength to resurrect for himself. So, as far as I know, girl, Twitch and Allison are just the overt versions of themselves. Like who Allison is outwardly is who Twitch is inwardly, and vice versa. Okay? Well, Allie, you can say that she did not care nothing about him, but you can also argue with that same logic that he didn't give a damn about her either, nor his goddamn kids or his mama or his goddamn friends or family because he took his life. So you can equally argue even more of an argument that he did not care about any of them. Maybe Twitch, like his brother said, maybe they were fetishizing white women. Maybe Allison was just a status quo symbol. Maybe Twitch was secretly whitewashed as hell, playing a white man's game. He took his motherfucking life, so he can be argued to not have loved, and clearly he didn't love himself. So we know then, in fact, he did not love Allison or love his children or love anybody else. Sorry. See, one thing about them tables, baby, is that they always turn and that pendulum swing from left to right, boo. Okay? For every action, there is a reaction. For every argument, there is a counter equivalent to it. That pendulum swings from left to right. Back to this interview.
Now, just over 2 years since Stephen's death, a People magazine article has become a new point of contention.
And just because he chose her don't mean that he had her in his best interest. He the one who left his family, left his wife with $1 million in debt. So, and this is why I can't take y'all commentary seriously, because y'all are so hyper fixated on Allison that y'all are completely intentionally overlooking the sins and transgressions of Twitch. So if you can't talk both sides, I don't care. I don't care. Because for everything we can say about Allison, unfortunately, we can say about Twitch. Obviously, he did not have her best interest at heart. Obviously, he did not have his kids' best interest at heart. He left them in debt. He took his own life. That's foul play when you bring somebody before God and you present your contract to God and to your community and to the person that you're choosing, and then you violently get out of that contract in one of the most traumatizing ways you can abort any contract, which is by taking your own life. Go talk to families who have had to survive loved ones who have claimed their life and how emotionally violent and traumatizing of an event and in the circumstance that is. Talk about all of the mixed emotions. You got people who have to live after an event like this who, because they left with no answers, especially if there was no self-deletion note, blame themselves. How many poor loving mothers are blaming themselves for their child taking their life? How many siblings are blaming themselves for their brother or sister taking their life? How many spouses are blaming themselves? How many children are walking around with a sense of guilt that they were not enough? How could my dad take his life? How could my mom take her life? Was I not enough? The complexity of a death by way of self-deletion is incredible on the human psyche. And this is why nobody should make this choice, and nobody should have to survive someone that they love doing something like this. The person does not deserve also to be in this level of pain, which is why we got to talk about mental health. We got to advocate for mental health amongst Black men who suffer disproportionately with self-deletion and depression. The numbers for Black men in suicide are completely through the motherfucking roof. Black men are dying in their silences. They find more community in their diaries and in the privacies and nooks and crevices of their minds and hearts than they do their communities. That is very sad that Black men feel safer being transparent with an empty ass book and a pen than they do talking to another sentient human being who claims that they love them. There's a lot of course correction that Black men have to make in our community as it relates to mental health, as it relates to self-care, etc. And some choices that we're going to have to make in order to position and posture ourselves for the type of meaningful relationships that can go beyond skin surface. Create and show up in relationships in a way that allow us to feel transparent, that allow us to wear our heart on our sleeve, that allow us to bear it all, because everyone needs that level of intimacy. And you can't truly actually love someone else successfully until they're showing up as themselves. And a person cannot begin the work to actually love themselves until they are willing to show up as who they are, even if who they are is fully broken in this moment.
It included details from Allison's book about Stephen's marijuana use and Allison allegedly finding a, quote, cornucopia of other drugs in the home he shared with her and their 3 children after Stephen passed. And when you read it for the first time and heard it, what did you think? How did you react?
Immediately it was, oh my God. And then it was, this is going to be out there for the kids to see.
The People article.
Sure, everybody in the Hollywood has a damn Diddy connection. Ellen has a Diddy connection. Rihanna has a Diddy connection. Beyonce got a Diddy connection. Like, Who don't got a Diddy connection? I mean, everybody has a damn Diddy connection. Hollywood is not big. It's very small. All the circles run on top, through, and around each other. And the reality is, this man took his life. And he took that life and took that love and took that protection away from everybody else that loved him. And he left them without as much as a goodbye. He left them without as much as a why. Why, Twitch? Why? Why, child? And everything about his behavior gives, this was definitely a death by suicide. I do not believe there was any foul play. He brought the GUN with him. He called the hotel ahead of time. And in the days leading up to him taking his life, he was kind of making his rounds. He told his daughter he wished he could be her hero. This was said by a man who knew in the coming days what he was going to do. Him and Allison had just came off of a wonderful, I think, vacation or anniversary. Everything was great. They had dinner that night. They had just spent time together out of town. Everything was dope, which is consistent sometimes with the way that a lot of people who are suicidal behave. Sometimes they can spiral toward the end, or sometimes they get very happy. They become very at peace because they know that they are about to be set free. And this can make their departure even more shocking to everybody else, because it's like, what the fuck? We were just fucking and sucking and riding sharks in the Atlantic Ocean together, bitch. What happened? He had called his mom the night before, told her that he loved her. This is because Steven was in his own way tying up all the loose ends and giving his subliminal goodbyes, because he knew what he was going to do in the coming days. The clerk, the maid, the employees at the hotel all said he came by himself. Nobody saw anybody coming or going. Once again, he was not under duress when he arrived at the hotel. And to be honest, it's interesting that people are talking about foul play. If you wanted to take somebody's life, kind of like, if you are a smart criminal, you're not going to do that in a public place like hotels. A lot of hotels are in the like center or surrounded by a mecca. Most hotels are surrounded by restaurants, intersections, off highways. These are places that have higher risk of surveillance. Taking someone's life in a hotel is very risky business. I don't believe that his death was a foul play. It was too risky to take his life at a hotel and risk being seen by hotel clerks, by management, by other employees, by other people who were at the hotel having surveillance in the hallway, surveillance in the parking lot. It's just like, it's and the fact that, once again, there is no evidence. There is nobody who came and went with him. So people are just wanting to indulge in this conspiracy. That's fine. And this is also common when it comes to self-deletion. People would rather entertain an alternative narrative because that seems more palatable than accepting that somebody really chose this for themselves, especially somebody who had a public image of smiling and dancing and being an extrovert. And it just don't make a lot of sense to people. So I can understand people's need to entertain alternative narratives in order to make something this bizarre make sense, especially since he was in really good spirits. But if you don't know a lot about suicidal ideation and how people can behave toward the end of their lives, then this would seem more bizarre than what it is. But for me, this is a typical A profile in terms of behavior for some people when they have made that choice. Once again, they get very happy toward the end. Very okay, very at peace, because it's all finally about to be over.
Also included details about Stephen's private journals, where Allison says he alluded to being sexually abused as a child.
I guess my thought is, first of all, that was his story to tell.
Were you aware that that was even a possible issue for him? You know, in the People article there, she alludes that he may have been, that he seemed to...
I said that too, Deshaun. I think that that's something that he did consider. He did not want to take his life at home. He did not want his children or his wife's home experience to be disrupted in that way. To have to risk them walking in on his body, he knew would be devastating. So at the very least, he did consider making his choice, you know, somewhere else. He knew that it probably would have ruined their memories of the house and everything. So I mean, it's a tragic situation, but at the very least, at least his kids did not have to deal with the investigators and, you know, EMT workers in and out of their home, and just have to have saw the image of their dad in that state, because the clerk and the maid did say that he was pretty fucked up. His body was pretty fucked up. There were blood everywhere. The head injury was massive, and this is also why Allison wanted to protect her children and herself from seeing these images up and down their algorithm by having everybody sign a goddamn NDA, because the injury to his head was pretty nasty.
That he had been sexually abused by a trusted male figure in his life.
No.
You were not aware of any of that?
No.
Those details were also a shock to Stephen's younger brother, Dre Rose. So did you know about any of these issues before the People magazine article came out? Cornucopia of drugs, including mushrooms, pills, and other substances, implying that he had a serious drug issue.
I knew that.
And Medusa says, I seen all his videos on Instagram, and he was very upset and unhappy with issues in the world beside the dancing ones. And Allison also said that, I think in her interview and in her book, that he was an extrovert, like outside, but like home and privately, he was very introverted, which reminds me of myself. Like, I'm very introverted in my private life. Like, I'm a very quiet person, a very observant person, probably a lot of my own scorpion characteristics. I can be very extroverted. I'm like an introvert with extroverted tendencies. So yeah, she said that he was more a private and a recluse privately.
Recreationally, he's used to try things. That wasn't.
I actually think that Stephen Twitch was an empath. I think he was an empath that went rogue. I think that Stephen Twitch. Okay, so here is my theory. When I put everything together, because Stephen Twitch is an empath, and not only is he an empath, but empaths always are downloaded into narcissistic style families where you don't have a lot of agency, where people put a lot of pressure on you very early on. And because you are empathic, you unconsciously create this unconscious system where you become the pillar, you become the muscle, even though you're not necessarily asking to be the muscle, you're not asking to be the intercessor, but this is just the natural dynamics you find yourself in, whereas in you somehow always end up with the cape on, and people always look to you and your cape. And this starts happening at a very early age. Empaths, because of their empathic nature, because they have a huge supply of love and vulnerability, they also can attract a lot of predators in their life. So a lot of empaths that I know have been actually assaulted. They have attracted a lot of narcs, a lot of abusers, a lot of users. It's kind of like that dual magnetism between light and darkness. Like, empaths are like walking hospitals, so they naturally attract sick people. Empaths are like walking doctors and healers, so they attract the broken naturally, even when they're going out of their way to avoid every toxic motherfucker known to man. Somehow, some way, girl, they will always attract. We will always attract poisonous, toxic ass people. Just always. We don't got to try. We could be intentionally going out of our way to diet from toxic ass people, and yet we would just always have their attention. They will always gravitate toward us, and in some way we will always gravitate toward them, because healers need people to heal, and unhealed people need healers in order to heal. So there's that natural balance and act. So I think that Twitch was an empath. I think that he was downloaded into a very broken narcissistic system. A lot of the details of his journals make sense to me in terms of the way that empaths can be treated in their families, the type of roles they can naturally take on, him being a people pleaser, him being the Superman of his community, etc. And of course, because most empaths are brought into systems that they're not taught and trained and understand. They don't understand their empathic gift. They don't understand the dynamics of their lives. They don't understand how their supernatural psychic gift works. A lot of times empaths can go dark. They can become very grieved and depressed by the ongoing pressure in their life to always show up, to always do. You become the strong friend that nobody checks on. You become the strong relative. Everybody forgets that you are human too, that you may be super, but you also are just a motherfucking man. You're equally man as you are equally God. You are equally woman as you are equally God. But when people have only gotten into the habit of having you serve them, they forget that you're more than just a server. They forget that you have needs. They forget that you also require the same level of community and love and resource and affirmation and protection and intercession. So you end up having to lick your own wounds. You end up having to find ways to fend for yourself. As a result of that, I believe what happened is that Twitch then tried to treat the dynamics of his life, treat his empathy through drug usage. It's not uncommon for empaths to enter into some type of a addiction, whether that's a spending addiction, a eating addiction, a sexual addiction, a weed addiction, a drinking addiction, some type of a unhealthy dependency. Rather, it's also the unrelenting thirst for love itself, obsessing over the concept of falling in love, going from relationship to wherever the unhealthy codependencies are. I believe that he tried to treat his trauma and treat his empathy through pill popping at times, through smoking weed, etc. So boom, fast forward, somehow ayahuasca comes into his algorithm. He takes ayahuasca. This is a notable experience in Twitch's life because both his stepdaughter and Allison speak profusely about how big of a deal this ayahuasca thing was to Twitch. That this was very eye-opening for Twitch. This was very revelatory for Twitch. And I don't know how much Twitch knew about ayahuasca, because I think what happened was, once he took ayahuasca, whatever that shit did to his psyche and did to his soul, it more than likely brought up a lot of things. Because what ayahuasca will do is it will dismantle the psychic blocks that you have put up and resurrected in your consciousness to shield you from the injuries of your mind. Those psychic blocks will become disintegrated. All that stuff you're hiding from, all that stuff you can't look in the mirror and deal with and come face to face with, ayahuasca will bring you face to fucking face with a 4K reflection of who the fuck you are and what the fuck is going on in the basement of your life. So I think when this happened, he decided to stop taking and stop treating his condition with weed, pill popping, and probably went to journaling, doing something more holistic, giving a voice to his inner self, giving a voice to that inner abandoned, traumatized, sexually abused boy. Ayahuasca probably gave him the strength to take a more holistic approach to healing himself. But I believe where Twitch might have felt himself at is that he still, for the most part, tried to do it on his own. I always tell people when you're on a healing journey, and certainly when you're coming off of ayahuasca, you want to go directly into therapy, whether that's with your pastor, whether that's with your psychic, whether that's with a spiritual advisor, or that is an actual clinician. You want to go into therapy because therapy will help you to now organize, put into perspective all of that shit that ayahuasca has now put out in the light on your table for you to see. I think Twitch may have predominantly decided to still try to self-care himself. I believe this is what actually led to the full-on depression, because as he was attempting to do the right thing to heal himself, he now took ayahuasca. All his stuff is coming up. He's trying to find and create safe spaces in his life. I believe this is where his brother felt him at, because I think in his awakening, not only had he started journaling, I think he also tried to show up differently, even in his relationships to his loved ones, such as his friend Manny, who said, as he's trying to expose Allison, that Twitch confided in him about not being happy in his marriage and wanted to divorce Allison. And do you know what Manny did? And Manny admitted this. He talked Twitch into staying with his wife. He taught Twitch into remaining in his interracial marriage, because at the time Manny was also married to a white woman. I believe this discouraged Twitch, because what Twitch probably really needed was somebody to affirm him, because for the first time, he was actually choosing to be vulnerable. He was choosing to peel the curtain back. And let me tell you what somebody don't need. Somebody who has never had a voice, somebody who has tried to navigate their life through people pleasing, somebody who has struggled to liberate themselves and to stand in themselves when they are in their first phase of doing it differently. What happens in that first phase can either make or break whether that person is going to continue on in attempting to find their voice, to be their authentic selves. It could either encourage them, depending on what type of community they got around them, depending on if their self-care involves therapy and having the proper community to continue to encourage them to advocate for themselves, to vote for themselves. If they don't have those resources, depending on the community they do have and how they respond to the person who typically says yes, now saying no, the person who typically is silent, actually having something to say, the person who's typically a pushover is now being more assertive, depending on how that person's community responds to that person in the first phase of them attempting to have a voice, can either make or break them. And I think when Manny encouraged Twitch to stay in his marriage, what that did was further collapse and discourage and dissuade Twitch from continuing on in his work. Because what he did was try to trust somebody in his life that he believed loved him and that he loved, and tell them the real tea and the real truth. And what that person did was make what was in Twitch's best interest about considering everybody else but Twitch. And because Twitch had been used to being in communities of people who only think about themselves, nobody ever affirming him to advocate for himself, nobody ever telling him that what he wanted was important. I think he regressed. I think it made him even more upset and depressed. And because he was trying to deal with all of this, whatever issues he had in his marriage, the issues in his childhood, all the stuff that came up from his ayahuasca experience, that eventually Twitch came to the conclusion that his life was too complicated. It was too knotted up. It was too broken. It was too dense. That little light that ayahuasca might have gave to him at the end of that tunnel now had become bleak because he was not living in a world. He had not created a world yet that could further encourage the work he was now wanting to do. And as a result of him being in the world that always was, he got to a place of hopelessness and he took his motherfucking life. Took his life. And I don't think the drugs make Twitch a bad person. I don't think him smoking weed makes him a bad person. I don't even think that him taking his life makes him per se a bad person. It makes him a tragic individual. It makes his life a tragedy. It makes his wife and his kids and his family, his mom, it makes this a tragic set of circumstances, which is why once again, I'm only having to advocate for Allison because people are also intentionally refusing to quantify Twitch's behavior. And I'm just here to say that, look, if you don't have nothing to say about him choosing to vote himself out of the system the way he did, then you damn sure, unfortunately, like, you are being a hypocrite, and you are being hypocritical and contradicting yourself by having all of these strong judgments about the way Allison, as a living biological being, had to survive this dark period in her life, which nobody does perfectly. Nobody grieves perfectly. Grief is ugly. Grief will make you a hot mess. Grief, if you don't know how to take care of yourself, you'll end up being raggedy as a result. You could have been a completely healthy person up until a very tragic event in your life, and that shit induced mental health issues in you. That shit gave you emotional and mental problems that you never even had in your motherfucking life. Grief can be profound psychologically, and it can come with devastating results. Some people have taken their life as a result of losing someone close to them. Remember that story that was going on last year of that father? I think he was, I don't know what his ethnicity was, but he was looking for his daughter. His daughter had been missing for like a few months and shit, and he was out here talking to every news channel, etc., trying to find his daughter. And then this man took his own life. And then his daughter just came walking right back into society. Like, what happened? I wasn't missing. I just took some time off. Think about how many people claim. I remember there's a lesbian couple years ago. The girlfriend had passed away, and the living girlfriend took her life a few days afterwards. She could not live without her partner. So, because this situation is just so crazy and it's so tragic, and it has really to deal with the world of psychology and then trying to navigate your material reality, etc., I would just rather us stick to the meat and the potatoes of this issue, which is that this situation with Allison speaking about Twitch's personal pain and all of this, it gives us the opportunity to have a substantive conversation about Black men's mental health, about self-care, about mental health in the Black community. You know, there's so many more substantive things we can do with this circumstance than to find a villain and find a hero. That's very shallow, very superficial, and very fucking unnecessary. And it's not counterproductive when there are more significant implications surrounding the circumstances of his death that we could be really using as a catalyst to have conversations that need to be continual in the Black community, such as rebuking the spirit of denial, such as the way that Black men are informed by patriarchy and misogyny, and how this also corrodes at the spirit and the quality of life for Black men, the way that Black women play into internalized misogyny and also come to believe that men, particularly Black men, should not have emotional range. This vilifying of a Black man in pain, this vilifying of a Black man when he cries, this vilifying that look, we need to clean it up. There are more substantive things to do in this circumstance than to find a hero and to find a villain. But you guys can check out the rest of the interview, girl. We got to get to the rest of this discussion. But check out CBS Morning interview with Twitch family, his biological brother and mother, talking to Oprah's husband, Gayle King Child. All right, let's get into Wendy Williams, girl, because there's a lot going on, and I wasn't even supposed to be up here this damn long. Jesus, it's a lot going on. Oh, before we get off Twitch, you guys, Twitch's brother also is going to be, they are looking to take legal action, girl, against Allison. The brother wrote this message on Instagram 4 hours ago. It says, "We the Boss family are completely appalled by the misleading accounts and inconsistencies in Allison's book. As a family, we have repeatedly shown compassion toward Allison despite her disrespectful and evasive actions since Stephen's passing. Her portrayal of Stephen appears to reshape his story into a narrative that aligns with her perspective. These statements, along with her insensitive opinions about mental health and unnecessary hurt during an already difficult time. Stephen does not deserve this treatment in life or death, and her accounts cause us to doubt everything she has uttered publicly and privately. Due to the unproven statements published in Allison's memoir, we have decided to seek legal counsel to examine this matter. There are a lot of unanswered questions, and we want answers to Boss family." And I don't believe that the family is going to get those answers. I think they're also missing the larger picture, and I believe, and this is the very scary part about Stephen Twitch's family. It's fascinating to me that because Allison chose to ultimately speak about her experience of her husband and the findings in her home as it relates to her husband who took his life, that this family now is fully outside swinging and banging. The problem with the family swinging and banging is that had Allison given them what they wanted, this family would not be out here accusing this woman of somehow having a connection to his death, which is a very diabolical narrative. And the fact that if they did believe that, they would have been willing to suppress that had she operated the way that they think she should have operated in the years after his passing. I don't know what that means. So y'all telling me that y'all held this belief that she had something to do with his death, but y'all were still trying to be in relationship to her? And y'all were trying to be in the lives of her children, and yet y'all believe that she had something to do with his murder? If that was the literal case, y'all asses should have been down there to investigators, getting a private investigator involved. Y'all should have been down there getting an attorney and opening up a full investigation into his death. What type of people believe that the spouse might have had something to do with the untimely passing of their loved one, and then just sits on their ass and continues to live in denial? But you know what? This is indicative of where Twitch learned this behavior from. This masking, this passive aggressiveness. masking. Because I would not have personally been able to play nice with a bitch that I believe took the life of my brother or had something to do with the untimely death of my son or my best friend. Bitch, you're going to jail. Bitch, fuck you and them kids, so. Because we going to get the kids after we put your ass in jail, bitch. So what was going to happen to this narrative that she's connected to his death had she done it differently? Had she given the family what they wanted? Had she shared the wealth? Had she given them the kids? Had she done all this? So y'all was going to pretty much suppress this theory, this feeling, this inclination that y'all are now alleging exists against Allison and her connection to his death. Y'all were willing to portray him, and y'all ultimately did all these years. There might have been more evidence at the time that he died that actually could have possibly exposed the fact that his death was foul play. But because y'all didn't do y'all jobs, and now as a result of her not doing what y'all want her to do, y'all outside calling her a murderer and saying that she set Twitch up and then waited years out now to quote unquote get the law involved, which gave all this time for a lot of circumstantial evidence to just wash away. How are y'all advocating for Twitch when y'all believe that he may not have even taken his life? That this might have been the result of something else more diabolical and dark. And yet, y'all are claiming to be his advocates and his protectors, baby. This ain't no way to protect Twitch. If anything, y'all betrayed his ass. If y'all had a strong feeling that this bitch had something to do with his motherfucking death, it was y'all's responsibility to immediately prioritize that. But instead, nope. As long as she would have been willing to allow y'all to still have access to the resources, to the kids, to the money, to the whatever, baby, y'all was going to act like there was no elephant in the motherfucking room. And that speaks volumes about y'all. That is some weird shit that y'all held this belief and we're not pushing for no type of justice. We're not pushing for nothing until she got out here and told a uncomfortable truth about Steven. And now all of a sudden she's a murderer and y'all are seeking legal this and legal that, etc. Girl, this is very weird to me. And this like performative weird shit, this cherry picking shit, like as far as I'm concerned, girl, the family ain't no different than Allison. It's just that one narcissist in power is just getting the best of the other fucking narcissists. That's what it is, girl. These are narc games. These are narc games. Now they're going to get lawyers involved. For what? For what? You can't prove that he was never on drugs at any point. You can only prove that he wasn't on drugs when he died. You can't prove that he wasn't on drugs at all. She found a box of paraphernalia, of drug paraphernalia. We don't know how long that shit been there. She didn't say he was on drugs at the time that he died. She said she found a box of drug paraphernalia, and the next logical conclusion is that he must have been using it at some motherfucking point. You can't disprove that he wasn't violated. You can't disprove that he didn't write those words. It's literally just a moot point. What is really the fucking point at this point in time? I mean, what is the point? There's going to be nothing that comes out of this. Just hooting and motherfucking hollering. At the end of the day, Twitch chose her. And y'all need to make as much peace with that as Twitch did, because he never chose to divorce her ass, even though he could have. She's a reflection of him. Your issue is really with Twitch, not with Allison. Moving along to Miss Wendy, girl. Because speaking of unaccountability, bitch. Woo child. What's going on? That messy sweet spot. Hey, baby. My bitch, the messy sweet spot in the building, y'all. Shout out to the messy sweet spot. Make sure y'all subscribe to my girl, honey. Be keeping y'all updated on a lot of things, child. What's going on, Messy Boo? Hey, love. Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Girl, this is Wendy Williams shit. Now, y'all know we've been keeping up with Wendy ass, baby. And I've been telling y'all, bitch, I feel so vindicated. I feel so vindicated. It's a sad vindication, but I do feel vindicated, girl. Wendy ass done dropped the bombs, girl. And y'all know, I've been the bitch out here who been like really seeing through the veils, girl. Seeing through the bullshit of it all, honey. Y'all know I've been calling, yeah, I'm not falling for this Wendy Williams narrative, girl. This whole blah, blah, blah. Sabrina, what's the bitch name? Morrissey, Sabrina Morrissey, conservatorship, host, girl. Y'all know I have been struggling, girl, to lean into the popular opinion going on right now, honey. We've been breaking it all down since, you know, she done spoken out and did these interviews with Don Lemon, The Breakfast Club, Hollywood Unlocked, etc. Girl, y'all know I had done exposed the fact that Wendy ass did not even allow her own sister to be her guardian because her sister was against her alcoholism and Wendy wanted to drink. Wendy offset and pretty much like wrapped up her guardianship with a bubble when there was opportunity for her family to be her guardian, and her dumbass was dumb enough to say out loud that she wanted to be able to drink. And her sister hated her alcoholism. So the state was left even further, confuddled. And was like, girl, okay, we're going to have to appoint someone to wipe your ass and to help you piss. And that's going to be this New York-based attorney, Sabrina Morrissey, okay? Now, y'all know there was all of this tension around the Sun, okay? Because remember, Wells Fargo caught themselves initiating this investigation due to withdrawals that were coming out of Wendy's account, very large withdrawals per her son, okay? He spent like $100,000 on Uber Eats, girl. He was spending like $200,000, $300,000 on his birthday celebration, girl. There was all these large sums of coin coming up out of Wendy's account, and the financial advisor was being tipped off, okay, by production members from the Wendy Williams show and by other relatives that Wendy was being exploited, okay? So the financial advisor took it to the higher ups, and Wells Fargo then filed what was initially a financial guardianship. It wasn't a full guardianship. They only had filed a financial guardianship at that point. But once they had started taking action to get her under a financial guardianship, then more relatives came through anonymously and tipped off Wells Fargo even more, saying, yes, girl, we've been in need of this. Wendy is out of control. She coked up. She cracked out. She drunk up, girl. She off the Mad Dog 22, girl. And remember, while all this was happening, Wendy had became so unemployable that she couldn't even do the Wendy Williams show anymore. This was when all of these people were being swapped out in the purple chair. This was when there was, you know, all this conversation about what the future of the Wendy Williams show was going to be. This was when she was all on TMZ with this big ass elephant Titus foot in her mouth, girl, sucking on her big toe and shit, girl. This was when, you know, throughout the year, she done been in and out of rehab. She got thyroid issue, lymphedema issue, Graves' disease, progressive aphasia, frontal temporal dementia, You know, she being found dead and unresponsive in her condo. She's needing blood transfusions. I mean, Wendy was a total mess. I mean, she had literally drunk and coked herself into incapacitation. And this was showing up in the fact that her son allegedly was abusing her financially. So once Wells Fargo had petitioned initially for the financial guardianship, the family started coming and colluding with Wells Fargo saying, we need intervention. This woman is going to lose her life. We don't even know if she's going to be alive to tell about it, girl. We need help, okay? This also were like sources that were being reported through various blogs, like The People, the Sunset blog, etc., girl. And what Wells Fargo did was then reposture to the courts that, look, we're being tipped off that this situation is worse than what we initially thought it was. We just thought that maybe somebody, you know, in Wendy's life was taking advantage of her financially, but we have now gotten all this information and tea from people who are on the inside, and we want to present their testimonies. Remember, we pulled up the court docket. What the courts did was allow Wells Fargo to present the people in Wendy's life, her friends and family, who came to Wells Fargo anonymously, in private and confidant, and the courts allowed themselves to hear from those families, from those family members, and then the courts sealed the record. So we have no idea who was speaking out alongside Wells Fargo to get Wendy help. We have no idea whether it was Wendy's sister, because people have been like, girl, where's Wanda? Where's Wanda? Where's Wanda? Wanda been very quiet. Been very quiet, girl. She been very, and she might have been very quiet, girl, because she was one of them people who like, girl, yep, I initiated this shit. I sure did. My sister needed help, bitch. We didn't know what we now know about the guardianship, but what we knew is that my sister needed motherfucking help, and we could not help her, and something needed to happen to force some stability in the situation. People have been talking about her brother Tommy. Tommy might have been one of the people too, girl, because Tommy has been very vocal throughout the years about his sister being a hot mess. He been spilling all the tea on his sister. Okay. You know, he might have also colluded with Wells Fargo. Once again, it's no blame to the family, because to be honest, when it comes to a loved one, desperate times call for desperate measures, baby, and you're gonna do what the fuck you gotta do to save your loved one. I don't think the family knew what they knew now about conservatorships and guardianships, but it was an option and they played into it. Well, despite Wendy, who now has been exposed as a liar, because remember when it was reported that Kevin Hunter Jr. was spending all this money, he made a public statement saying that he never took advantage of his mom. He always had her permission. And Wendy initially was defending that fake ass narrative that, yes, my son has never abused me. He had never taken advantage. He always had my permission. Well, the very sober Wendy, because of that conservatorship, girl, Wendy don't got that cocaine in her system, girl. She don't got that Mad Dog 22 in her system, girl. She healthy and she lucid, bitch. Okay? All that poison is out of her body, girl. And a sober mind speaks an even more sobering heart. So Wendy out here not even realizing that she is spilling all of the true tea, which is going to really fuck up her situation in the long run, girl. Check out this excerpt from Morning Juice Box TV, girl. I think this is the interview she recently did with TMZ, girl. Check this shit out. I am screaming.
Son, you know, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. You know, like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo, thank God. My son, you know,
wow,
overstepped his boundaries in terms of,
wow.
you understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me about it. You know, like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo, thank God. Going on, because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo, thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
Wells Fargo,
Jesus.
bank, said you were the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation with respect to your money. Who was unduly influencing you? Who is the person that was doing this?
Going on, because, you know, that's when my... Thank you. Listen, my son is a really good person. You know what? Oh, God, I'm not going to cry about that. Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person to me.
Oh, my God!
You know, it's the way he moves.
Oh, my God, girl! Wait. Oh, my God, y'all. I did not listen to this before. Hearing it for the first time with y'all, oh my God, bro, Wendy is spilling the motherfucking tea. All those reports were right. The financial advisor was right. The family and production members who were colluding with Wells Fargo to say, look, this is some real shit going on, girl. It's a lot of mess and a lot of exploitation going on. We need the courts to hear us too, because she's out of control. She's trapped in an exploitative system with her family. Her husband was already on her neck for alimony, trying to get all her coin. Her son is trying to take money out the back end. Girl, it was all fucking true. It was all fucking true. All of it was fucking true. Now I want to see them same people, girl. Where y'all at? Where is y'all at? All them same mother-loving people who was free Wendy and had all to say about the guardianship, girl. The guardianship was necessary. Like I've been saying, the guardianship saved Wendy's life and it saved her goddamn pockets. And Wendy fucked that up for herself by never overcoming her addictions. And her family fucked that up by being no different than Kevin Hunter Sr., by being no different than what people are accusing the guardianship of being, which is greedy and money hungry and money seeking. That's why I said, girl, no, based upon all of my findings that I was presenting to y'all, girl, I said, no, ma'am. No, girl. There is enough here to justify the legitimacy of why she needed a goddamn guardianship. And I knew the family was not telling the whole truth. And of course, no family is going to outwardly be like, yeah, we stealing, we thieving, we taking advantage, etc., girl. But remember, Wendy had already dropped the Blues Clues, because y'all just wasn't listening. She had already said, because Wendy was contradicting herself in the Breakfast Club Hollywood Unlocked interviews. She was trying to lead a smear campaign against the guardianship, but she was fucking around contradicting herself by being like, yeah, I bought my son a very expensive car for his graduation. Well, how can Sabrina Morris be so horrible of a person, stealing all your money, but she greenlit you buying your son a foreign vehicle, a very expensive vehicle. Sabrina is in control of your finances. If she's so controlling and so horrible, you down there with your family for 2 weeks at a time, y'all partying like it's 1998. You able to buy people expensive motherfucking cars, etc., girl. Then she fucked around and said in the same interview that she has one of the baddest Elon Musk Tesla scooters she riding around in, girl. The most expensive electric scooter on the block. What? I thought you so broke, though. I thought Sabrina Morris say you're spending up all your money. I thought she's not doing nothing for you. Huh? But then she fucked around and also said that, and thanked Sabrina Morrissey in the same interview for selling her condo, something she had been wanting to get rid of forever. Then we found out that Sabrina Morrissey was the reason why Wendy Williams got a higher pay on the documentary. Where is Wendy Williams? The production was trying to shortchange Wendy. Sabrina Morrissey made them hoes double that shit up. And now, because Sabrina Morrissey done been appointed and she is focused on Wendy's health and done regulated her ass, Wendy out here sounding like her quote-unquote self. You know why? Those are all the results of the goddamn conservatorship. Because when Wendy was a free woman and she had access to her family, they was out here crying to the courts, baby, about how out of control she was. They was out here leaking stories to the goddamn press. They was out here crying aloud that Wendy is in danger, baby. They were scared for her life, etc., honey. And before she was forced into sobriety and healthiness, all the access to her daddy, to her son, to her niece Alex, to her sister Wanda was not enough for her to ever overcome her addictions, baby. She was out here seizuring in Halloween outfits and shit, rolling around to the east, rolling around to the goddamn west, baby. Falling on her damn nose and shit. Out here fucking 21-year-old girl just done lost her damn mind. And now that Wendy is sober the fuck up, baby, she out here spilling true tea, which means that these people were lying. I told y'all Wendy is a manipulative, lying ass bitch. Wendy is a narcissist, okay? Her agendas are insincere as well. She's not telling the full truth about the guardianship. Her ass is well taken care of. What's going on, Todd? She's well taken care of, girl. She got her coin. What Wendy can't stand as a narcissist, what's gaslighting Wendy as a narcissist, is the fact that somebody else running her shit. This is the kryptonite to a narcissistic personality type, baby. Having no power and having no autonomy, girl. There's nothing worse you can do to a narcissist than take away their goddamn autonomy, girl. And because Wendy's so dense, because she's still so unhealthy psychologically, she's healthy in her body, but she's still unhealthy psychologically. She don't even give a damn about all the guardianship that gave her, which is her health, which is her sobriety. She wants control again, but more importantly, she wants that goddamn bottle again. So her leaning up against this goddamn window, dressed like Beyonce and Single Ladies, girl, with this big ass Afghanistanian wig on, bitch, is Wendy ass trying to jump right on top of the damn 7-Eleven, girl, jump right down on top of the bodega to run up in there, girl, and get her some brown liquor, baby. Wendy ain't never been this sober in her life for this long. Wendy said she been a cokehead. She's her early 20s, working in radio. She been strung out. Strung all the way down to the ground, girl. That all those legendary years of her being on the radio, girl, gaslighting all these ass whippings and shit, girl, against her, that was the Cokie up, the Cokiana Wendy. The Cokiana Wendy, boo. Hot as the Cooter Brown, bitch. And her own DJ from the Wendy Williams show literally said that Wendy was being exploited. Everybody knew what the elephant in the room was. And that all this shit was going to come back to bite Wendy in her ass. She had a bunch of enablers around her. We showed the receipts of her show DJ speaking out. And my God, today, you might as well call him a prophet of John, girl. Because it ended up with her goddamn right stripped away from her and her having to answer to an entire system above her to do minuscule, mundane things like go see her goddamn family. All the signs of the times was there the whole time, girl. But let's finish. This is audio, girl. Oh my God. What we was on the third slide? Yep.
Thank you. Listen, my son is a really good person. You know what? Oh God, I'm not going to cry about that. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person to me. You
Wow.
know, the way he moves with other people.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And what's going on with these other people at my apartment in Miami? What are you doing?
Oh my, yeah, I can't take it. Oh my God.
There was a situation where Kevin says he wanted to rent a boat for his birthday for $1,500 and ended up getting a boat that rented out for $113,000, and he blamed it on the bank, that the bank wanted him to have that. That never really made sense to me.
Normie, you know what I'm saying? He has.
There was a situation.
You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
With my money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
in
my God.
September, we know the judge said this in court. While Mr. Hunter, that's the son, Kevin, apologized for past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe and wouldn't willingly or unwittingly expose her to financial exploitation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only.
Y'all hear this part again.
Kevin said.
Thank you. Listen, my son is a really good person. You know what? Oh God, I'm not gonna cry about that. Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person to.
No, it's his
He
part.
wanted to rent a boat for his birthday for $1,500 and ended up getting a boat that rented out for $113,000, and he blamed it on the bank, that the bank wanted him to have that. That never really made sense to me.
Normie, you know what I'm saying? He has.
There was a situation.
You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one. You know what I'm saying? Involved with my money. You know what I'm saying?
In September, we know the judge said this in court. While
Girl, Wendy Williams just exposed the fact that her son is setting her up and playing on her motherfucking head top. And this is who she tried to present to Wells Fargo as a power of attorney after they had filed for financial guardianship. This woman just exposed the fact that her son been taking advantage of her. He been inappropriate with her coin. He been exploiting her ass. He's a good person, but he equally a fucked up ass person because he is openly portraying her just like his fucking daddy. Baby, the apple never falls far from the goddamn tree. And even said that he is in a coop with other people who are right now in real time taking advantage of her ass. That they right now out here doing strange things and living off her coin, living off her apartment in Miami. Bad. This is why Wendy is in a guardianship, girl. There was no safe place to land, baby. Y'all didn't want to hear it. Y'all didn't want to hear from me, girl. When I was out here giving y'all the tea, girl, giving y'all the all-seeing eye. When I was presenting the facts, girl, y'all was out here cussing me out, baby. Y'all was out here just dragging me, baby. Y'all was out here hashtagging free Wendy and cancel CTV, bitch. And like always, the Kangs, baby. Bitch, I'm a prophet, girl. I see through the nooks and crevices, baby. I see the parts people don't pay attention to, bitch. Okay? Y'all are emotional. Y'all love emotional stories. Y'all deal with the surface level shit, bitch. Okay? I be putting the shovel to the motherfucking shit, bitch. Fuck that surface shit. Let's see what the soil look like. Let's see what the condition of the soil and the status of the soil is, baby. Okay, y'all was out here, girl, tearing me up, girl, because I had the audacity to see the truth. And now Wendy that got out here and confirmed and legitimized why the fuck she in a motherfucking guardianship. And it's because her family is dirty, baby. This is not the situation like I told y'all, baby. Y'all falling for Wendy bullshit. But let me tell y'all about Wendy. Because Wendy is a lying-ass bitch, you got to look out for her too, because, see, she got her own agenda in all of this. She too sober now to lie. She's too well to lie, baby. Okay? So now she got to tell the motherfucking truth. But at the same time, Wendy need to take responsibility because you in this situation, sis, because of also your own choices. Like I told y'all before, Wendy knew what the fuck she was doing when she even tried to present Kevin Hunter Jr. as a power of attorney to the bank. She knew what she was doing. She knew that he was just as reckless as her. He was willing, that he's young, he's impressionable, and that as long as she allowing him to cut $100,000 checks and $1,500 checks and $300,000 checks, that he would be willing to supply her ass and allow her to have a drug mule, to have the Coquiana, to have the Booger Sugar, the Christina Aguilera, to have the brown liqueur, baby. Okay, baby, this was a perfectly dysfunctional ass union between her and her son, and Wells Fargo had already initiated the financial guardianship, baby, so it was just a little too late, in the words of JoJo. But Wendy, bitch, yes, you are around a lot of succubus and incubus and a lot of snakes and money-hungry ass people, but at the end of the day, girl, you got to take responsibility for the fact that you, for decades now, have had the money to get yourself the best therapy and the best rehab necessary for you to have been a clear-thinking person. In another parallel dimension, in another hypothetical universe, you got your shit together. In another hypothetical universe, baby, what's going on, Lady Sparkle? Your ass is still in that purple chair. In another universe, you are sober, you are crack-free, you have a #1 bestseller from recovery to roasting, girl. That would have been the name of my memoir, girl. From rehab to roasting, girl. Your journey from crack and cocaine to dragging these celebrity motherfucking hoes and monetizing your dick sucker while you do it beautifully, girl. In another universe, you would be a free woman with all your rights, living your life how you want to, but because you fucked your shit up by never taking responsibility, full responsibility for your health, for your wealth, for your sobriety, and standing up in your shit and doing the work fully, you fucked around and triggered off these final destination sequences that have now led to the unfortunate circumstance of you being a woman who worked your whole life to be a multimillionaire, only to be trapped in R. Kelly's goddamn closet with one window, girl, to talk to TMZ through. And you're forced to watch everybody else, girl, shop Amazon Prime down, honey. You are forced to watch everybody else, girl, have a 2-door garage, have a puppy, have a driveway, have a staircase, girl. Okay, while you're on the 112th floor of an old folks' home. Trapped in the closet, girl. You did this, Wendy. You did this, and it's so sad, sis. But let me tell you how graceful God is, girl. Because he could have took your ass to the grave. You could have been in hell right now, girl. Like I said before, you were supposed to die in 2020 when DJ Boo found your ass unresponsive in that condo because you had drunk yourself into an alcoholic Mad Dog 22 coma. That's what you had did. And had DJ Booth not checked in on your ass out of a wellness check, girl, your ass would have bust hell wide open in 2020, girl. And it would have been very unfortunate for you to go out like Marilyn Monroe. We would have found your ass in the tub as well, girl. A tub of liquor. Gone, girl. But the universe had another life for you. You need to get over the fact that you are not going to be allowed to be an addict. Get over it. Because that's your only fucking issue with this guardianship. How out of one side of your neck your ass is dragging the guardianship, and then out of the other side of your neck are equally defending it by pretty much giving us all the tea that justifies why you in the situation you in. But you know why you talking out of both sides of your neck, bitch? Because that frontal temporal dementia that you say you don't have is exactly why you're forgetting your lies. Girl, let me find out that frontal temporal dementia, girl, is out here as her biggest op, girl. Wendy don't even know that she supposed to be lying to us, girl. She supposed to be acting like her family is the Cosbys, girl. She supposed to be acting like her family is the that she got Carl Winslow, girl. You know, as a son, girl. Let me find out that FTD, girl, is her biggest op and Uli opping her motherfucking ass, bitch. She supposed to be out here keeping her foot on Sabrina Morrissey's neck. She supposed to be out here keeping her motherfucking foot on the guardianship's motherfucking neck, bitch. But because she got dementia, bitch, she forget to tell the lies. She forget the script she own, and then get to telling us the real tea, girl. Girl, how God give you a personal op, honey? Baby, y'all better stay away from that goddamn FTD, girl. Y'all better stay away from that goddamn frontal temporal dementia, bitch. Because, baby, that shit gonna be the biggest banana peel in your life, honey, if you fuck around and find out, girl. Okay, girl, you gonna be dancing with two left-ass feet, bitch. Baby, this is a mess. This is shocking. This is crazy. I am now curious to know, girl, how is this going to impact her proximity to her family? Because you know Sabrina Morrissey listening, bitch. You know Sabrina listening, girl. You know that conservatorship judge is listening, Miss Mamas. Girl, is this going to cause her to be clank down even more? Because you know, her brother Tommy was already speaking out from the last time she came down to celebrate Kevin Hunter Jr.'s graduation, that they was doing too much, girl. There was too much going on. Too much going on at that Miami apartment. And now that she done got out here and said that, and she done agreed and exposed the fact that her family and people in her inner circle are taking advantage of her financially, etc., girl. Jesus Christ, baby. The family just fucking raised $48,000 something motherfucking dollars to obtain lawyers, girl. Baby, as long as Wendy out here talking to the media, the family do not have a chance, baby, to get a hold of that goddamn coin, girl. Because all of this shit is going to be used in the court of law. Believe that, bitch. Believe that, girl. The family done got out here and asked poor people to raise almost $50,000 in coin so they can obtain legal representation to break up the monotony of this conservatorship, girl. And Wendy done got out here and basically exposed all their asses as the financial exploiters of her damn life, girl. Girl, wrap it up, girl. The family, y'all need to refund everybody their coin. The family, if y'all donated to the GoFundMe, y'all need to go request y'all coin back, girl. Wendy just fucked up all the church's money, girl. She just fucked up the whole script. She just fucked up the whole motherfucking play, baby. This motherfucking TMZ interview is going to be used in the court of law, girl, when it's time to contest this guardianship. She, in her own words, just exposed the fact that her family is, in fact, exploiting her, has been exploiting her. And they're out here asking poor people to give them their hard-earned Social Security that Donald Trump administration is stripping, girl. Y'all got out here and sold food stamps and everything, baby, to free motherfucking Wendy. And Wendy done damn locked herself into the damn prison for the next damn 20 years because these are her confessions. Girl, that FTD is whipping Wendy's ass, girl. They better get Sabrina Morrissey to take the phone at this point, bitch. Take the phone, girl. That bitch don't need no outbound calls nor no inbound calls, girl. Shut it down, girl. Okay? They was out here, girl. This is such a gag because they been out here, girl. Oh, yeah, she can only make outbound calls. Girl, even the outbound calls are fucking y'all shit up. The outbound calls are fucking y'all shit up, girl. The same privileges, girl, that they claim is Sabrina and Alette and Wendy have, baby, the one privilege she do got done turned the whole thing upside motherfucking down, bitch. Just is a hot fucking mess, girl. Let's hear it again, girl, because I'm gagging.
Mr. Hunter.
Girl, if we did a panel, I can come back, girl, and restart a stream, girl, and let y'all come up, girl, because I don't know if y'all gagging the way that I'm gagging, girl. There are like multiple gags happening all up and through, girl. This is a whole fucking gag. This is a multifaceted gag, bitch. I am gagged down, girl. I'm shooketh. I had no idea, girl, Wendy was gonna give it up like this from the window, bitch. Okay, the goddamn testimony has lived up to the drama of her leaning against this window, girl. The visual gave equal iconicness, girl, to the tea that was spilled, girl. The boiling hot piping tea that runs over the Budweiser can, baby. I'm shook. Shook, girl. Let's listen to this one more time.
You know, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. You know, like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo, thank God. Because, you know, that's when my money got frozen.
And then she thanks Wells Fargo for freezing her coin, because had it been left to her son, girl, Wendy is inadvertently admitting, girl, she would have been broke, girl. She would have been around here living like E.C. Hammer. Wow, what a crazy turn of events, girl. This is giving me Sean Kelly in the Tory Lanez trial, girl. When Tory Lanez thought he was about to call upon Sean Kelly to exonerate him, girl, and Sean Kelly ass put his block ass, his bald head ass right behind them bars, girl. I am shook, bitch. Shook.
Thank you. Listen, my son is a really good person. You know what? Oh, God, I'm not going to cry about that. Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the way he moves with other people, you know what I'm saying? And what's going on with these other people at my apartment in Miami? What are you doing?
There was a situation where Kevin says he wanted to rent a boat for his birthday for $1,500 and ended up getting a boat that rented out for $113,000. And he blamed it on the bank, that the bank wanted him to have that. That never really made sense to me.
Normie, you know what I'm saying? He has.
There was a situation.
You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one, you know what I'm saying, involved with my money.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
In September, we know the judge said this in court. While Mr. Hunter, that's the son, Kevin, apologized for past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe and wouldn't willingly or unwittingly expose her to financial exploitation.
You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one.
Jesus Christ. Now, remember, I said in one of the last live streams, y'all, that, look, we have to be able to considering all the things we done discovered, all the things we done put together, girl. Y'all know I done receded down in this situation, girl, that we have to consider if the family was, you know, financially exploiting her. This was before Wendy said all of this. And remember, I said, girl, for all we know, they could be trying to get her back because, once again, yeah, they trying to get to the goop. They trying to get to the moolah. Well, I found out, girl, courtesy of the U.S. Sun, while the family out here begging y'all for coin, girl, for $50,000 of it so they can get a hold of Wendy, so they can get a hold of that bank. The family is going through financial issues. According to the U.S. Sun, Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Jr., threatened with eviction from Miami luxury pad for second time as family struggles with money, bitch. Remember, Wendy just said, I don't know what the fuck going on down there at my Miami apartment, girl. It's all type of roaches and things swarming around, girl. She just alluded to the Miami apartment situation. Courtesy of the Sun, girl, the U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal that the former Wendy Williams show host only child was served an eviction notice for his rental on January the 8th. This is the second time Kevin, who's 24 now, was served with an eviction notice at the address and at least his third eviction proceeding overall during his time living in Florida. According to court records, Kevin failed to pay rent due through the month of January, with his monthly rent set at $3,731. Only a $3,700 rent, child. The property's ownership company claimed that Kevin owed a total of $4,000 and that Kevin was served a notice to pay rent to vacate the premises on January the 7th of this year. According to the filing, Wendy's son heeded the warning quickly, as it appeared that a voluntary dismissal was filed on February 3rd by the ownership company, indicating Wendy's son likely paid his back rent. One source close to the family told the U.S. Sun that Kevin really needs to get his shit together. He's a grown man, and there's no excuse for him not paying his rent. Back in February 2024, after Wendy's Lifetime docuseries aired, the same building served him with an eviction notice after he allegedly failed to pay his rent. The filing claimed that Kevin, who signed the lease in November of 2023, had failed to pay that February's rent and owed the building a sum total of $4,300 motherfucking dollars. The case was resolved in March of last year, and an attorney for the property filed a notice to dismiss the case. Before these notices, Kevin was served another eviction warning at his previous apartment. So this boy been not paying rent in multiple locations. Back in 2022, the U.S. Sun exclusively reported that he was evicted from his luxury $2 million apartment for failure to pay his rent. The eviction came on the heels of his mother being placed in a financial conservatorship. In those eviction papers, Kevin said his mother had always paid for his housing. Quote, as the lease approached the end, my mom went through some health issues that put the court in control of her finances, Kevin said of the lease that ended in February 2022. Girl, how you 24 years old have had access to your mom's money your whole life, and you don't have a cryptocurrency business, you don't have an Amazon store, Amazon Prime store, girl, you don't have a vape shop, you have not done anything lucrative or substantive with access to all this money, but you spending $100,000 on motherfucking Uber Eats with your wide back ass. Why has Wendy felt her son? Why has his father felt him? Why is there no trust fund for him? Why has nobody making him take a financial course for financial literacy, a business course? Why is there like no investment in his mind and helping him to have the mental fortitude in order to flip money, to invest money, to transmute money into long-term monetary things? And this is a failure on Wendy's coked out ass and Kevin Hunter's cheating, community dick slinging ass. But he out here spending $100,000 on a Big Mac, but ain't even got $3,000 to cover his motherfucking room and board, make motherfucking sense. And Wendy out here buying him expensive ass cars. The whole fucking family dysfunctional and upside down as all motherfucking hell. Wendy done been felt by her husband. Should have been felt by her son. Should have been felt by her peers, her family, the system. Kevin Hunter Jr. ass done been felt by every motherfucking body. What's going on? Talk Tony TV, who says that he don't know how to live on his own. Immaturity is crazy. And this who she tried to manipulate Wells Fargo into making her power of attorney, girl. I told y'all Wendy knew exactly what she was doing, girl, by bringing a 21-year-old to the bank to be her power of attorney, girl. That was manipulative as hell on Wendy's part, girl. She knew she would still be able to rule with his immature surface material ass. And now she out here spilling all the goddamn tea. So he riding around in an expensive car, but he ain't got an expensive parking lot to park in front of, baby. I guess he gonna have to live in that motherfucker too. It's funny how his ass gonna have to go from spending $100,000 on Uber Eats to driving for goddamn Uber to make $100,000 goddamn dollars. Because remember, girl, back in 2023, girl, they were both lying. Wendy was lying. Oh, no. Ain't no taking advantage. Oh, no. It's so sad that this boy was exploiting his mom's frontal temporal dementia. Exploiting it, girl. Because Wendy probably wasn't always in her right mind, considering her progressive aphasia, her bulging-ass eyeballs due to Graves' disease, and her dementia, coupled with her drinking and drug usage, girl. Wendy probably was zoned out, girl, from the 8 balls underneath her pillow at night. And the son was just living a vida loca. On top of Wendy already having a predatory ass ex-husband who was on her neck. This is some sad shit, girl. And Wendy preferred to be in that reality versus the one that the conservatorship got her ass in, which is got her healthy, got her ass sober, and got her money locked up accordingly, girl. She still got access to it, because like you said, baby, she said she out here buying expensive wheelchairs. She got the most expensive one on the market. She admitted that she brought Kevin Hunter Jr. a expensive-ass car for his graduation. So the conservatorship is being very good to her. She just don't like the fact that she doesn't get to make decisions without an overhead. That does not appeal to her narcissistic complex. But when they were trying to only opt the courts, girl, there was all information, girl. Everything is well. Everything is okay. Now she out here saying, girl, that my son is my biggest op next to this dementia. That my son has been fucked up, has been the worst person to me, and still playing on my head top, fucking around in my apartment, doing all type of ungodly things without me in my own shit. If you're going to be doing ungodly things, at least we got to be doing ungodly things. I don't appreciate everybody else being able to do ungodly things on my dime, on my time, drinking my wine. And I got to look at the party from the motherfucking 112th floor of the old folks' home. My God. Girl, this shit is crazy. And the fact that y'all let people play on y'all head top, girl, this is why I don't be feeling sorry no more. I don't be feeling sorry no more, girl. When y'all be getting played, girl, I just be letting y'all talk shit now. I be like, girl, we'll see, bitch. Girl, I'm a prophet, girl. Okay, my reality, it don't come to fruition in the moment. I'm the kind of bitch whose words you gotta wait to see the full manifestation of, girl. I don't speak in the right now. I speak ahead. I speak in the future. And I be trying to show y'all how my brain work when I be compiling this and third, putting all together like a little puzzle piece. I'm so glad I did not fall for this bullshit as usual. I did not get caught up in these emotional narratives, because if you listening, girl, the tea was already there from the beginning. You just had to listen and get out your feelings. You just had to consider all of the information from Wendy prior to guardianship, during guardianship. You just had to pay attention to what she was saying in interviews, girl. All the things was there. Now y'all need to go seek a refund, because there is going to be no petitioning, girl. The family's not going to get anywhere in contesting this guardianship now that Wendy has corroborated the findings of Wells Fargo. And now we're going to see if the family are going to be just as loud and outspoken about the people in the family who have tried to financially exploit Wendy, like they've been trying to get y'all to believe about the guardianship. Girl, this baby, I know Sabrina Morrissey somewhere right now, bitch, with a wide ass ear-to-ear grin, girl. I know Sabrina Morrissey somewhere, girl, with a vibrator in her pussy. He hawing, girl. It's the vindication of it all for me, girl. I know Sabrina Morrissey somewhere, baby, getting the lawsuits drawn up right now, bitch. For all y'all who played on her head top, girl. She is a lawyer, girl. Okay, baby? Y'all better go around to y'all favorite content creators, girl, and tell them to start privating everything down, bitch. Y'all better go to y'all favorite TikTokers and YouTubers and tell them to start privating content right now, girl. Because Sabrina Morrissey is coming, girl. She coming like the second coming of Jesus, baby. Yes, God, baby. Drawing up those old nasty silver suits, girl. Y'all had a lot to say. Well, y'all was in y'all feelings, girl. Y'all had a lot to say about Sabrina Morrissey, girl. Y'all had a lot to say about the conservatorship, child. You better go around here and holler. Go send an email. Go send a DM, girl, to your favorite content creator who was out here talking about free Wendy, bitch. And she done quadrupled her damn sentence out here, girl, because that's how sober her ass is. That's how sober Sabrina got her ass. Baby, this is a freaking mess. Do y'all want to talk about it? Because I can start another stream, girl. Y'all got to have something to say, baby. Do I need to come back and set up a panel? Because I can end this live. Because I don't want to open up the panel on this live. Because this is my Hot Topics live. I don't want it to be too long. I was already here too long as it is, girl. Do we need to come back? Do y'all have something to say, or are we complete? Are we complete? Or do we need to come back, honey? Talk Tony TV. Lady Sparker, baby. What y'all want to do? Because, baby, this is a shit show. Oh, my God, this is a shit show, bitch. Wendy still should be in control of her. No, she should not, bitch. No, she should not. If she want to be in control of her money, you don't put your shit in a bank. Because institutions have legal stipulations, girl. And by law, they are allowed to oversee your coin. They are allowed to make you aware of what's going on with your coin, any unauthorized payments. And if they believe, girl, that there is somebody playing on your head top, they can go make a request. Now, what a bank can't do, a bank can't make the final decision. They can only present it to a court. If you don't want the courts in your business, keep your motherfucking coin under your mattress. Piggy banks exist for a reason. Safes and votes exist for a reason. Keep your motherfucking Benjamins under your mattress. Like your great-great-great-great-grandmother used to do. Don't put your shit in an institution. Y'all better start reading the motherfucking fine print. Y'all better start reading, girl. Y'all better start just scrolling all the way down to hit accept, bitch. And if you read line by line and precept by precept, girl. Because y'all can't say that these institutions don't inform y'all, girl. It's all in fine writing. And as a result of looking, lurking, and analyzing, you get to decide if you want that institution to care for your assets or not, based upon their rules of engagement. Okay? Sorry. She put Wells Fargo in her business by doing business with Wells Fargo. You should have known better. And ultimately, here's the gag. They looked out for her. Some of y'all still disillusioned as hell. Wendy just basically said, bitch, had the conservatorship not, had Wells Fargo not did what they did, girl, she also might be around here working for damn Lyft. If Wells Fargo might not have done what they did. Talking about she should still have, she couldn't be in control. She don't have a brain to control it with. She didn't have a sobriety to control it with. What was she going to control it with? She required a guardian. And the people that wanted to guard her were the people that were using her the most. And her sister, she didn't even want guarding her because her sister wasn't with none of the shit. They saved her coin. That's why she can buy her son an expensive car while being under a guardianship. She could buy an expensive scooter. She could fly down and in and out of Miami to see her father. And she could still have an apartment in her name in Miami and all of these things, honey. The conservatorship has made that possible. And we now know for sure that Kevin Hunter Jr. was living off his mammy's money because without her money, he can't even afford his motherfucking $3,000 ass rent with his codependent on the titty ass. My God, today. My God, today, girl, from the window looking fierce and distressed. My God, today. Baby, y'all better stop underestimating the bitch. Y'all better stop, girl. But if y'all want to come back, we can come back, girl. Let me get up out of here, girl. I'm going to set up another panel, honey. Y'all hit the link. Come and sound off, girl. What y'all think about all the things, honey? Come spill the motherfucking tea. Come sound the fuck off. Do your big one on the panel, child. Because this is a hot mess. Shout out to my baby mother. Let me see my baby mother. Lenona. For the old Nancy child support chat. Thank you, baby mother. Y'all know all information. All donation information is in the description box. It's also on the screen. Cash App, $ baby, or PayPal.me. So that's Consciouztv, girl, because we're working. I'm about to set up another live, girl. Let's come back and get into the gag of it all, baby. This is a hot, shitty motherfucking mess. Please thumbs up, share. And I will see you all in a few minutes. Bye.